Alright, we're doing TNT by AC/DC. And again, this is just my interpretation of what I'm hearing when I listen to the recording, and sometimes I'm simplifying things a little bit just to make it a little easier. But anyway, pretty simple riff. Anyway, pretty neat. I like it. Let's start with an open power chord on the low E. So the E string will be open, no finger on the E, and then I'm going to bar, B-A-R-R-E, the A and the D string on the second fret. Okay, so I'm going to flatten out this first finger, put it on the A and the D string, and so I have those two strings down. Okay, and then plus the low E. Make it a nice 3-note chord there, power chord. And I'm gonna strum it down, and then like for one count, 1 off, 1 off. So make sure that right hand comes down with the fleshy part of your hand on the strings after that. 1 off. All right, and then I'm gonna do a G chord. Now, there's several ways to do a G chord, and I think in this position it's easy to do this. Just take your middle finger, your second finger, and put it on the low E on the 3rd fret, okay? So we have 3rd fret here, and then what I'm doing, this finger has two jobs. It's not only holding the 3rd fret down on the low E, but it's touching lightly the A string, because we don't want it. We don't want an A in our G chord. We just want G's and B's and D's. So that's muted, and it'll probably do that automatically if you just put that 3rd finger down on the low E. It'll probably be muting the A already. And then with the top of my hand, with this part, let's see, the camera. Anyway, right in here, I'm touching the high E, because I don't want the high E in there either. Okay, so I'm muting two strings. I'm muting the A string, and I'm muting the high E string, the string closer to the floor, with this crease in my hand here. And so I get a G chord. Okay? So we have the power chord, open power chord first, 1 off, 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to come in with this G chord. Alright, and I'm strumming all the strings. Since I have the A string and the high E muted, they're not going to mess the chord up. Okay? So, 1 off. Come in with that G chord. Now I'm going to do an A chord. Alright? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using the 4 middle strings. Not going to use the thickest strings, not going to use the skinniest string. Okay? So on the D, G, B, and the D string is the 3rd string down from the ceiling. 1, 2, 3. That's where I'm going to put this first finger on. I'm going to bar the D string, the G string, and the B on the 2nd fret. Okay? So that finger's flattened out. And I have all, you can see the creases in my fingers, probably from the strings there. You have all 3 of them down. But you can't do it unless you flatten your finger out. Okay, and you get all 3 of them down, the D, G, B, and the 2nd fret. The A string is open. Now what I do is I wrap my thumb around and touch the low E. Why? Because I don't want it in the chord. Now probably what's already happening is this finger is also muting the high E string. If you got it in there, it wouldn't hurt the chord because an E is part of an A major chord. But anyway, we have the 4 middle strings, and then I mute. Now, here's the last part of the riff. I'm going to take my middle finger and go to the low E here, 3rd fret, and I'm going to bend it. But I'm going to pick it first and then bend it right at the end. Actually, that first one doesn't really have a bend, so just do the 3rd fret on the low E, and that's it. Now go back to the A chord we just did, pick that, or strum that. Now go back to the low E with the 3rd fret with the middle finger. Now we are going to bend it, but not at first. Right at the end. So we pick it, and then we bend it, and then we start all over. So here's the whole riff in slow motion. Alright, open power chord 022, off. G chord, A chord, 3 on the low E, back to the A chord, back to the 3 on the low E with a little bend at the end, and we start over. And I like to put a little rhythm with my hands when I'm doing it. See how I kind of hit the strings there. If you want to try that, you kind of do that automatically. Kind of has a little rhythm to it. Hey! Right? So that's pretty fun. Now let's go, in the next lesson we'll do the next part of that.